hello, hello. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. We are live. We are live. We are live. Let me get my guest on. Let me get my guest on. All right, all right. So we're inviting my guest on. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's another edition of Let's Talk TikTok. Let's Talk TikTok. Yes, we are taking stock. Yes, yes. Hi, Emisi. Hi, Emisi. Welcome. Let's talk TikTok. Let's talk TikTok. You're welcome. You are welcome. It's another session of Let's Talk TikTok. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. Let's get my guest onto the call. Hi, Emisi. Hal Yusuf. Tayo Duke Issa Bemoy, welcome. Yes, 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 yes. I can't wait as well. Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to get my guest Mosope on. Yes, 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 yes. Let's get Mosope on. Let's get this conversation started. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Let's tell us where you're joining from. Tell us where you're joining from. Tell us where you are joining from. All right, all right, all right. Let's get Mosope on. Yes, welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you. I'm getting some, yeah. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's find my guests. We need to get into the conversations. Mosope, let's find Mosope. Olani Mercy, thanks for joining. Lagos, Nigeria, thank you for joining. Yes, yes, yes. We need to get Mosope on, so that we can talk, we can take stock, let's talk, take stock. I'm always excited to have these sessions. And so you probably see me shining and beaming from end to end with my smiles. But yeah, let's get my guest on. I'm just trying to locate her. Okay, Mosope, where is Mosope? Mosope is here! Hooray! 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 Mosope, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, Peggy. Fa. Mosope, welcome. Okay, so Mosope, let's try to get you um on the live. Let me know if you get the invite. You should have an invite your way now. Yes, yes, yes,
Hi.
yes. All right.
Hi. Hi.
Thanks. I did. I'm waving at everybody that's waving at us. Yes, 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 yes. This is fine.
Not really.
Yeah. How are you? How are you? Thank
Bye.
MO and Harrigan, Ayo. Thanks for everyone that has joined so far. I am excited. I'm super excited. Always excited to have these conversations. I'm particularly excited. Hi, as you're joining, please just tell us where you're joining from. Tell us where you're joining from. Let's recognize you in the chat. I always say that you come through, whether you're here the whole time or you're just passing through. We're super excited that you're
Bye.
here with us. If you spent 1 minute, that is exciting for us. Yes, good to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone that has joined. Share the link, share the invite, share. Get folks here, have a conversation with this amazing, amazing woman. I'm making you
Oh,
blush.
please, I'm shy. I'm shy. I'm shy. I'm shy.
I know, right? So it's really exciting to be having this conversation. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I just want to say a quick word of prayer. Dear Lord, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, because we know you're very intentional. We thank you
Thank you.
because we're going to have a conversation, and whoever needs to hear this, whether right here or after this call, whether they're watching this after that, Lord, that message that you have for them, they will not miss out on it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. How are you today? How are you? How's life?
I'm fine. Wait first.
Give me them.
Wait first. Wait first. Okay, but yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. I'm not even going to lie. Like I've looked forward to today. I've been checking the time because I'm 1 hour behind. I don't want to miss the time. It's not 6 o'clock my time, please.
Yes, yes, yes. I was like, okay,
So
where's
yeah.
Moshope? Where's Moshope?
See, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. I think I just leave it at that. Long and short, I'm very happy to be here. So
I
yeah.
happy that you're here, Moshope. I'm happy
Yeah.
that you. Today is very important for me because this session is
Mm,
especially that we started doing the Let's Talk Take Stock. So I do this on a
mm,
quarterly basis. If you're
mm.
joining here and you're joining because Moshope is here, you don't know me, Fumilola Asa. I am the author of the book Take Stock of Who You've Become on the Journey to Becoming. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And that's what it's about: intentional life living, intentional, just being intentional with life on a day-to-day basis, and how that
Mm-hmm.
allows you to make different choices and ultimately makes you more impactful and purposeful. And so for
Yeah.
everyone who has joined so far, Benny the Trailblazer, somebody who was Haley Moshope, mentor, so we're excited that you joined us. If you're watching this later, we're excited that you joined us. Happy transformational catalyst as a brand. Whether it's in the classes that I teach, the book I've written, my day-to-day work, my ultimate purpose is to help others on their journey of transformation, to allow them make the step change in performance as the light bulb starts to come up for them. And that's
Yeah.
why this session is one of those sort of scenarios to where we're going to be talking about the principles of intentional stock taking that I've
Mm-hmm.
in the book. And I'm excited to be joined by Mosope. We're going to get Mosope to do her intros very shortly. But usually, how the sessions run is I do and introduce myself, do a quick overview of the book, tell you a few things about the book, this book that we're talking about, spotlight a chapter,
Yeah.
and then we get into the details of the conversation. What do we talk about in this session? We try to make it practical. Sometimes some things
Yeah.
are fuzzy, mushy, you hear it and you're like, how can I make sense of this thing you are saying? Speaking, give me faith to. And
Yes.
everyone I've brought on the session always has a different perspective of how those principles
Mm.
touch them and their encounter with the book,
Yeah.
and other offshoots and derivatives of the take stock that a message that I've received
Yeah.
for my life, and I've been keen on sharing with everybody, because when you get into the driver's seat and you're more intentional about your choices, you just see a whole spectrum open up for you, of course in alignment with the
Mm.
one who's loaded you with capacity, God, who's
Yeah.
put everything on your inside. And so I wrote the book. I run a master class. I'm a mother, a wife, daughter, sister. I like to call myself a system thinker, strategy and engineering professional of almost 2 decades. And I'm a personal development enthusiast. I believe in just developing and developing and developing myself and others. And so you're very welcome to this call. You're wondering what the
Yeah.
book is about in summary, I invite you to read an independent review that was done in December um, 2024 in Business Day by Titi Oyemade. She talks about her perspective on the book. And then in Business Day Women's Hub. So the other one was in Business Day Weekenders. But in Business Day Women's Hub, we had people like Moshope and a few others who have been book share candidly what it has been for them. And so TikTok is just is more than just a book. Is a guide. It's something that you keep going
Yeah.
over and over again. And like I said, it's about intentional living, being able to
Mm-hmm.
stop, get off this business wheel. I'm always busy,
Mm.
this and that, and not being able to recognize all the gems that are inside of you, the paths that you've walked, the things that have shaped your perspective, and the loads of treasure that you carry to the world. And so that is what we're
Mm.
going to be talking about, today. And to
Yeah.
kind of get us into that mode, I spotlight a chapter in the book, which is about the journey. A person's
Mm.
journey is one of the most underappreciated resource that most individuals have. Like, you get
Mm-hmm.
past this phase and the next phase, and you're like, yeah, I've been there, done that. What's the next thing?
Next thing.
carried so much along the path, or some of them are even painful, and you're like, I don't want to be there, I don't want to revisit it. But sometimes right there in there lies the very treasures that you need, and that you need to be able to be that impactful person as you move. And so the chapter 4 of the book on TikTok of your journey talks about things like the fact that you are a message and you carry a message. Everywhere that you have walked is an ink of what God is writing about the message of your life.
Absolutely.
What you do with it and where you take it to is now up to you being intentional about it. In there we talk about the fact that, when you take stock of your journey intentionally and you're able to articulate where you've been at, if you don't do that, you unintentionally diminish your experiences, you diminish the things that how you have grown over time, and
That's correct.
diminish your self-esteem. And so it's very important that you are intentional about your journey and ensure that you grow yourself in the process, because the world needs what you carry. And the more you can embrace it, the more you can appreciate it, the more you step out in confidence. And like somebody said to me recently, own it with your full chest.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Your full chest, and you're undeterred, because there'll be tough roads, there'll be challenges, but because you know where you're going, where you're coming from. And that's why we've tagged today's session revisiting the past to unlock the future. Like, some people don't like going to the past, but in there, like, so many keys to the future that you're keen on and you're itching to be at. And so in that chapter, I talk about recognizing your pivotal moments, recognizing the growth in the key moments of your journey, taking stock of your emerging patterns. What's the pattern that's showing up for me? Like, what's the pattern? Taking stock of shaping process. What are those tough experiences that have molded me to about this book, so I will not keep you waiting. Not keep you waiting. I think it will get right into it. So Mosope, I'm super excited to have you. Mosope is a legal expert.
Yes, please, yes, I am.
Sharing from some very profound insights from even carbon and carbon tax.
Yes.
Very very insightful, on her pages. But I wouldn't do enough justice to Mosope if I tried to introduce her myself. So Mosope, I'm going to turn this over to you. And again, come through, please say hi to us. Tell us where you're joining from, so that we can, recognize you. Mosope, thank you for joining. And as you go through, say hi to us, tell us where you're joining from. And if you're watching this later, because this is going to be up on my profile, if you're watching later, please comment, like, tell us what resonates with you. But if you're just here and you're seated, please buckle in. It's about to get it.
Yes, please.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. Yes. My name is Mosopefoluwa Akinrinmade, patience. Emphasis. I'm a lawyer. I currently just had my master's in tax law, international tax law, and I'm currently pursuing a doctorate in that line. Yeah, I think that's about it. Summary, long and short. That's why I'm a lawyer. That's it.
So let's meet Mosope the person. Okay, so let's talk about Mosope the person. And you think about the journey, all of that, and who we're talking about today.
Well, yeah. I would say Mosope is a. Now, some people who know me might not agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm still going to say it anyways. Mosope is a very quiet person. Mosope used to be a very timid person, but I mean, this masterclass, everything in between, the journey to where I am, I feel like I still have a lot of living ahead of me, but at least so far that I have gotten to, I would say Mosope is now a big girl, a lover of Christ. Mosope is somebody who sees what she wants and goes for it. Mosope is no longer that timid and shy girl. Mosope is now an adult. See, I don't think I was trained for this adult thing, but anyways, that's talk another day. But yeah, So yeah, that's about it really. Mosope is just here navigating life with God and taking every day a step at a time. That's who Mosope is right now.
And
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
it's like, if you all did not get the memo, Moshokpa is no longer real. If you did not get the memo, Moshokpa is now an all
Yes,
the statements of affirmation, like if
subtle.
that's
Yes,
the old one, this is the new one.
this is
If you
yes,
this is me. And so yeah, it's
yeah.
Faith. Thanks for joining from Florida, US. If
Oh,
you're on the call joining us, tell us where you're all joining from. Thank you for joining us. Like I always
thank
say, whether
you.
you come in for a few minutes or you're here the whole
Mm-hmm.
time, excited that you came along or you're watching this after. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just start to double click because we said
Yes.
to revisit the past to unlock the future. By the way, you talked about masterclass. So
Yeah.
you just talked as you were introducing yourself. We're going to unpack that
That,
later.
that part. Yeah.
Help
Okay.
them understand, what you mean by the masterclass. But one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that said, I would like to talk about is just thinking about the journey, your own journey of becoming, because we're always becoming. We're on the journey of becoming what God has intended us to be. But sometimes too, depending on how we take life and the details we take, sometimes we may be off track or we may really be back on that journey. But when you
Mm-hmm.
think about your journey or your personal stories, what would you consider some key highlights, whether it's in your career, your personal legacy goals, your family, or just when you just reflect at
Yeah.
that journey, what are those key highlights?
I think the first key highlight for me, I would say, is resilience. I really never knew I had it in me up until, then the challenges presented themselves, quote unquote, right? I would say that that was a very, very big part of me from then till now, like resilience, perseverance. Like, I mean, I've heard people say those things. At some point, I literally had to sit down to like Google, like, what does this even mean? And I just, as I read it, I said, Bishop, that's you. For some other people, it might be different, but this is me. This is my story. This is the path where I'm on. Like you said, we are going to talk about the master class when we get there, but that class did 10 in me. For the people who are Yoruba who understand what I'm trying to say. I did not like, at some point I did not like where I was going into, because as much as, like you said, there's that, oh, I just want to the next goal, to the next career plan, to the next thing. I just want to just do it and just sweep it under the carpet. Oh, I've been there, done that. And that was me. A part of that is still there. I'm still growing out of it. I'm still learning to be a better person. But now I have figured out that I do that a lot. But like you said, we're still going to still have to talk about the master class. But those are some of the things. But all I would say is perseverance, resilience, and it might sound cliche, but holding on to God. Like He has been so good. He has been too good. The journey of who Mosopé is still unfolding. It's not done yet. I'm still on it. I'm still figuring things out, but I'm confident that I have God with me and I'm not doing it alone, because initially I was doing it, with my logic. For somebody who overthinks things a lot like me, like you will sit down, okay, analyze it, bring out logical reasoning, just I was just like, you know what? How about you calm down, Chopin? Just calm down, breathe. And yesterday, when I was doing my devotion, it talked about entering the place of rest. And I was like, Chopin, this word is for you. Take rest, accept rest, sit in rest in God. Like, because whether we like it or not, I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's just that unending race, and when you hit that milestone, there's that initial excitement, but give it a week or two, it has died down, then you're up to the next thing, going after the next thing. But I would say that that kind of also helped, because if I was not an overthinker, overly overly analyzing everything, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today, right? So I'm not going to, just shove down that carpet and say that that didn't
Yeah.
play a very important role. It did, but now that I'm pairing it with God, it just makes the journey more purposeful. It makes it more. It's now more like God is not showing me the big picture, but then He's bringing out these little pieces like a jigsaw puzzle. He brings out this little part, and I'm like, wow, so I never knew I had capacity to do that. And then he brings that part, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I can actually feel I have room to accommodate. So it's exciting. So that's what I would say. Resilience and perseverance is something that has been, I've seen, a constant pattern over time in my life. But yeah, that's it.
No, thanks for sharing. For somebody who might not know you, they would wonder because you said, things like when the challenges presented themselves,
Mm-hmm.
resilience
Yeah.
and perseverance. Do you want to double click to the
Mm,
extent that you can share, you know,
mm-hmm.
what you would say, some of those challenges were and how, resilience has shown up for you over time?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I would just mention one practical example. So, when I was to study law, for some weird reason, right? I mean, people who have known me from way back, they will know, Mosope is probably always reading. I was just that child that I did not want my parents to complain about me. I just did not want my mom to. I wanted to be that good girl. I am that good girl. I just wanted to do everything right by the book. And then it got to the point where I would take, JAMB and take WAEC, and I failed. And it didn't make any sense because if it's reading, I'd read so much. So why was I failing? I had applied to different schools. Eventually, I was going to go to Unilaga. My dad said, nope, you're not going there. And then he just yanked me and said, I'm going to Jabo. That's justified by University in Nigeria for those that don't know. When I got into Jabo did not have law at the time. So I started studying English. Again, I didn't stop. So one thing I'd observed about myself, which is still a consistent pattern with me, is what I don't want to hear is you cannot do it. In fact, it's like when I hear you cannot do it, it's like that's when they just gingered me. I must show you that I can do it. I don't know where that came from, to be honest. I don't know where that came from, but then I am pushing myself. I keep on knocking, I keep on trying. So I got into Jabu, I started studying English, and I was doing so well. Part of the best people in my class. I was doing so well, I was so happy. And then they were going to start law. I was so excited. So my mom, oh mommy, there's law, blah blah blah. And I joined the cohort, the law group, and my results came out. And my CGPA was 2.00. See, when I graduated from my LLM and a classmate from back then in English, she said, wow, Moshope, congratulations. I remember when you were studying English. I promise you, I was moved to tears. And this was just right around when the master class was ongoing. And like I said, we're still going to get to the part of the master class, but how did I move from frying pan to fire? For people who studied English, they would know that that's also a difficult course to study. And I just told myself I had moved from frying pan to fire. Who sent me to study law? I could have just stayed in my English JJ and just graduated and kept it moving, bare minimum, keep it moving, no issue. And when I saw my result, my dad was furious. Now, bear in mind that I always wanted to do everything right by the book. And I went back and I sat and asked myself, okay, Moshoko, what's the problem? It's not like you were failing as a child or you weren't doing so well. What's the problem? To me, at that time, I was so worried out of my. If somebody had told me then that the challenges ahead they are greater than you worrying about, oh my God, I would not have bothered myself the way I bothered myself about. And it just makes sense that in life, when you think this one challenge is so big, there's actually something bigger ahead. And I just now looking back, it makes sense that was God literally expanding me and just creating room, capacity. Like it's going to get tough, but I want you to know that I will be with you every step of the way. Anyways, that happened. I started studying law and I said no. I went back to school, buckled up my seatbelt, did, finished with a 2-1. I was so happy because I'm sure I don't even know if my siblings are here, but both my dad and my brother, they are both lawyers, but they both studied law and they finished with second class law. I finished second class upper and I was so happy. That whatever one can do better. That was it for me. Like I can do it, And just when I thought, oh, like I said, the excitement, oh wow, I did it, they couldn't do it, I did it. These men, they didn't care less. It was not a competition, but for me, It made me feel good. Just when I thought that was the end, then law school happened. I was supposed to go to law school. I couldn't go to law school, and then after a few months, then I had to stop NYSC, and then I had to go to law school, and I had to be in Abuja for a whole year. And I remember, I think that was the first time I would literally hear the voice of God. And I was studying, and I was worried that, hey, God, this law school, people will say, oh, you went to private university, kini kini, it's private school, it's not that good. And that night, as I was sleeping, I heard God tell me that you are not going to fail. It was like the confidence was there, but it then doubled. In fact, it quadrupled, because I was like, oh, yes, I'm not going to fail. Okay, so what will I finish with? You say I will not fail. Oh, God, what will I now finish? And it was like, Shokwe, calm down. Nobody really cares. The goal is you finished your degree in law and you go to law school, you pass, and you're now a lawyer. That phase passed. I thought, that was it. I'm now a lawyer, photo shoots, everything exciting. My parents were proud, thinking that was the end. Okay, it's time for me to do my master's. I got admission, everything was settled, fees were paid, and my dad goes, you can't go there. Like, it didn't make any sense, because again, for people who are Africans on this platform, we understand that there's like a trajectory. Undergrad, masters, it's like a staircase. You do the first, the second, and I'm like, why would this man just tell me I can't go there? Right? And then bear in mind, in between whilst doing all these things, my dad said, oh no, you have to work. I got internship opportunities left, right, and center, just doing things. And he said, he first started with, you need to do NYSC, you must do NYSC. All my friends are going to go do their master. What do you have to do NYSC? I can come back to do it. This man said, no, you have to do NYSC. That happened. I got admission. He said, you can't go. I said, why can't I go? He said, it just doesn't feel like his mind is not there. And what was the excuse? Oh, because you did not get accommodation. I was like, it's accommodation. When I get there, like, we'll figure it out. And to some other people, these things I'm saying are challenges or disappointments. To them, they're like, oh, is that just it? But I promise you, to me, it was a big deal, because now with every other thing that has come after then, right, I probably wouldn't have been bothered that time. But at the time, with the extent to how I was spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, it was a big deal for me. It was big emotion for me. And, like, all of that just happened, and he said, you can't go. I said, okay. So I had to be back at home, and I got a very amazing job. Like, the kind of job that I want to think people would desire to want to have. I got that job. Probably if I was not at home for that additional 1 year, I probably wouldn't have got that job. And that job opened me up to opportunities. It put me in rooms that I had, in my wildest dream, like I would never think I would be there. I had the opportunity to handle case files and, relate with clients that on a good day. I mean, when I used to, be in court litigation, I remember there was a time I was supposed to be in court with my boss, and he didn't show up, and they called the matter. So for people who are lawyers, right? Maybe you're the junior lawyer, you go with the senior lawyer. And I was in court before my boss. Normally, you get called to check the court list. I did all of that, sent to my boss. Oh, we are number 2 on the court list. Okay, sir, we are waiting for you. And then they called the matter. My boss was not there. And it was just me. And then the court registrar, they called it 2 times.
Yeah.
I said, what am I going to do? See, yeah. I don't even know where it came from. I just stood up, announced my appearance, told the court to do the position, moved the motion. I know all these things I'm saying is probably legal jargons for people who are not lawyers, but all of that happened. And then I got back to the office, and then my boss sees me, and he was so happy. And I'm like, you didn't show up in court. You were supposed to be in court with me, but you didn't come. And he said, oh no, it's one of those things that we do to young lawyers. I said, like, is it good? Because at that time, the fate of the client was in my hands.
Yeah, you were thrown in
But
at the
I
deep
had to, exactly, I was just thrown into it. But typical me, like, I would rather over prepare than under prepare, right? Because I have seen myself lose out on some opportunities too, and I told myself that I would never walk into a room without being prepared. I'd rather over prepare and let them not even ask me any question at all. Now, for me to under prepare and I get there and I cannot deliver, like, and I was just asking myself, okay, what if I didn't read the case file? What if I was not in that client meeting? What if I was not? And They were happy because I came back with good money, judgment and all those things, good money for the office. So they were happy.
So
Right, but
I want to
these things and yeah.
two things you've already said today that I think
Hmm.
we're clicking on. One of them is, or reinforcing, just again to summarize for you.
Yeah, yeah,
What about the fact that, resilience, and they're talking about, you realize that each step prepares you for the next one. And that's why
yeah.
we overly consumed in the step that we're in, because like when you think you've got it all together, there's the next one.
Mm-mm.
And that was why things we talked about in the book on recognizing your journey and TikTok is recognize the growth through the kairos of your journey, through the key moments, how you have become a stronger
Mm-hmm.
because you went through that.
Through
The second
that.
said again was the fact that because you've seen yourself lose out on some opportunities in the past, because of that,
Mm-hmm.
it has made you become somebody who over prepares. And so while in itself stand alone, that opportunity that
Yeah.
was have been considered a negative, but
Mm-hmm.
net positive because it has shaped you into somebody who was prepared for the bigger opportunity,
Because
one that
yeah.
had money tied to it, the one that you did not see coming, the one that had
See.
of somebody else hanging. And because you become a prepared person because of the things of
Mm-hmm.
your circumstances of your past, you were ready for
Yeah.
the stage, and there's still,
Yeah, that's correct.
and I think that was two things I feel like we need to really highlight for people, because when people talk about
Yes.
in your past to unlock your future, sometimes the mindset, the perspectives that you bring to life is driven by some of those things that you have done in the past. So
Experiences, yes.
anchor quotes that I have for that chapter 4, just if I
Mm-hmm.
can read it, is that
Yeah.
one, because I think it's important that we hone in on
Highlight
that,
it,
clear
yes.
on it. I say that if my book will turn to the right page, and page 145, it says
Okay.
you're one of the unique qualifications to fulfill your God-given assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Your message, and you carry a message all woven into your life's journey. But the key highlight point it was at the beginning. It says the making of life's movie is as important as the final product. The
See.
quality of the product is driven by the highlights of the process of the making. And so the quality of who you were in that instance that was able to stand up and take on that case with the confidence was because you were prepared and you have been shaped by the making of your life's journey because of some things that were seeming disappointment in the past, which turned
Yeah.
blessing in that instance. And that's why,
Yeah.
as individuals, when we go through things, we must
Mm-hmm.
not lose sight of the lessons that those things are presenting for us, because
Yeah.
shape us for the next big challenge, which is usually
Yes.
that's wrapped in that challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. True. I mean, I would not, I would not, you said it all, because I mean, it's just quite interesting. Like, you really never know how much you can take in. You really never know how much you can stretch until you find yourself in that position where, okay, now there's nowhere to run to. Is either I do it or I don't do it. And guess what? You have to do
Really,
it because you cannot not do it.
really awesome.
Yes.
Let's start to move this.
Hmm.
Let's move it forward.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the book Take Stock of Who You've Become on the Journey to
Hmm.
Become. So, can you tell us your encounter with the book? I know if the masterclass is going to come up
Yeah.
there, but how do you describe your encounter with the book? And maybe we can even kind of talk about the masterclass together in this space. But
Together.
one,
Okay.
for those who may not have seen it on my timeline, recently talking about a masterclass that I have. Today was the first class.
Yay!
But someone shared a very candid, you know, testimonial from her first, and so she's been
Yeah.
masterclass a lot as she's been talking to this point. And so for me, I want you to kind of wrap it together and talk about, your encounter with the book. Yeah, if you
Hmm.
this is what we're talking about, take stock of who you've become on the journey to becoming, and
Yeah.
about the masterclass.
Um, okay, so I'll start with the book, right? That book, when I read it the first time, I asked myself, I said, what was this woman on? Like what exactly was she thinking? Because I don't think it's a book that you need to read just one time and drop it. It's something that grows with you. Because again, I'm not trying to say this because you are here, but the words in it are timeless. Like, just I think it was like a few weeks ago, I still picked up the book again just to go through. And I remember that there was a part in chapter 8 that, in fact, like the entirety of the chapter 8 of that book dragged me by the edges, almost falling off. And I picked out that part. So it says that The ultimate benefit of knowledge gained is not in the acquisition, but in its transition to action to unlock true value. You see, yes, I feel like, especially for somebody like me, very quick to want to learn things, which is a very good, but okay, now that you've learned all these many things, at what point are you going to execute them? For people that don't know, every day on LinkedIn, I share, I explain simple terms, in the climate change space. And I told myself, you've done this, you've done that, you've attended that. I said, I'm not doing any training again. All the ones I've done, I must use it. When I finish using it, then I would sign up for another training, because I just figured out that it's like you keep on going. It still is not far from the fact that you keep on pursuing that thing. Once you get it, onto the next one, onto that, and then you just realize that you haven't really put them out to play. You haven't used them, right? And that's something that I felt like it was just shouting at me. I was like, why are you shouting at me? Okay, fine, I've heard, fine, it's okay, I'm going to use it. Like, please don't talk to me that way. And another thing, in addition to that, was sometime last year, a friend of mine put up on her Instagram page, and she said, put your name. She put the dash line, put your name there. That your playing small does not serve anybody. Because you are trying to, oh, I don't want anybody to know. Oh, that used to be, see, even till now, I still struggle with it. No, I don't want attention. No, like, let me just cover my, I don't want. But I'm like, why? During the master class, right, there was, I think it was second week or the third week. And by the way, for that master class, I told myself I must do, I think I said it even during I must finish it. I must start, because it just looked like I will do something I will not finish. I will do it half, I will not finish. No, this one, I must do it to the end. And during the class, when we broke out into our mini groups, I said something. I said, it's good to, the fact that you're an adult is good, and sometimes it's not good, because there's the adult responsibility that comes with being an adult, which I don't like, but that's another day. And then there's the part where I feel like as African children, we really aren't, I don't want to say we are not taught, but then I also cannot blame our parents, because it's like they do this parenting thing on a wing.
Yeah.
Like, my dad has never been a parent to an adult woman. He has never been at the time when I was a teenager, he has never been a parent to a teenager. So I need to just, cut these people a bit of slack. He's just a guy too. My mom is just a girl too. Like, these people don't know, they are just trying. Anyways, back to what I was saying. The good thing about being where I am right now, what I have chosen, or the path I have chosen, is that nobody can beat me right now. Nobody can beat me. So nobody can shout at me. This is the path I have chosen. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, doing this my PhD. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, this is the life I choose. This is the life I choose. You have to keep going, Mosope. A man who is diligent in his work will stand before kings and ordinary men. You need to put in the work. These are things I tell myself, and these were the outcome from the masterclass, right? As much as these things were, it was the knowledge I had. It was just somewhere in my head. But that masterclass literally allowed me put into practice these things, the affirmations we get to have at the end of the, like, these things transformed, like, they translated themselves to my, like, to what I now do every day. I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like it, but I tell myself, that scripture will be my anchor scripture. A man who is diligent in his work will stand before kings. Don't you want to stand before kings? You want to stand before kings. You need to get up, you need to do the work. This wasn't something I used to do before in the past, but these were the things that I got to benefit from the masterclass. Then another thing I also noted about the book is, which was very profound to me, by the way, was the part where you said immediate gratification often needs to be traded off to truly explore the fullness of the benefits that opportunities around you present. And I'll get to that. Now, like I said, I always wanted to be a good girl, good girl. I wanted my daddy to tell me, good job, well done, I'm proud of you. If I did not hear my daddy tell me I'm proud of you, it was like I want to die. What would this father? But as I tell myself, and I don't even know if there are people like me, you post something on Instagram, you go back to check how many likes do I have, how many has nobody commented, and I tell myself, Shope, you need to stop, you need to put that aside right now. Where you are going to, it's narrow. Not everybody will come with you, but guess what? Success has so many friends.
Absolutely.
When I posted my graduation, I was surprised at the. I said, I have this many friends. I did not know. From that post alone, I got over 300 plus connection requests. And I'm asking myself, where do I know these people from? But then nobody would know that there was once upon a time that I had a CGP of 2.00. In fact, a friend of mine still makes fun of me till today to tell me that, remember when your CGPA was 2 o'clock? She still makes fun of me till date. And I'm like, nobody was there when that was happening or when I was crying, thinking, oh, I'm going to just enjoy myself. I cannot believe because of CGPA. If I knew that I had bigger challenges, I probably wouldn't have dwelt on that so much. So, and that was the uncomfortable part where that journey took me to. And I think just to put this out there, that the masterclass is a self-paced process that you have to choose to give yourself to it. There are so many things to do. You have to submit this activity and that activity. That is good, but you have to choose to allow yourself go through that process. I don't even know if any of your students, like the new cohort, they are here, but I would just say that give yourself to the process, right? As much as, yes, you have to submit this and that to move to the next step. Actually sit down and think. Just don't rush to do it. I think I was telling you, I think it was last week when we got on a call, and I said, in fact, there was a particular workbook that I sat down and I populated it so much, only to realize that we're not submitting it. Oh no, I wanted you to read this because I was like, oh, but this is, but every time I still go back to it, some of the milestones I set, even after the presentation, during the master class, I wanted to present. I told myself, I said, Shopper, this year, no more shyness, no more timidity. But I need to start from somewhere. Shopper, you are a lawyer. You've had to go to the court of appeal, stand before people. Don't be scared. Nobody's going to beat you. I mean, I know I've said so many things, with my thoughts mumbled and jumbled everywhere. But what I would just say is that this path I chose, I have decided, and every day I keep on choosing to decide to allow myself into the process. I'm not going to, and there's no room to chicken out. That's what I told myself. And whatever I learn, I am going to apply. And it's like that chapter was just shouting at me. I'm sorry, because like the entire book, that was like, please, I'm not just going to take what I've been told. Oh, we learned how to say 1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to put it to practice. I see red, blue, yellow, 1, 2, 3 cars. Oh, I'm walking. I'm taking steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. I'm not going to just absorb the knowledge, but I'm going to put it to practice, right? And that was something that was very key for me, all through the process, the book, the master class. Anyways, anybody who is there, please, 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 you will get a lot of work.
We would tell them. We would tell
okay.
them
Okay.
the process. But
Yeah.
you've touched on so many things. And it was like chapter 8 for you. So the book talks about the fact that, somebody once said to me that, for me, maybe next time we need to cut this book in half.
I
and
think so.
I guess it's like, is the like first time author thing. I'm like, you guys need to get everything. I don't want to
everything
forward in and so we went for
oh my goodness.
of how do you take stock, why take stock, and then translating it to the doing, because my point in that chapter 8 is that I find that so many times we're hopping on, and I said that today earlier in our first session of the masterclass.
Yeah.
Friends, the next virtual thing, the next thing, and you're wondering, why is this thing not working for me? You haven't taken it and started working on
applying it. Yeah.
Never learn until you intentionally put your leg in front of the other and you start to say, oh, this is quicksand, let me avoid this one. Oh, this is... But you never know. Just
you won't know if you don't try.
You need to try. You need to move forward. You need to take that step forward, and that's better. And then to your point, so I said that to somebody recently, that when you're there doing the grind, it is lonely, and so that's why you need to be intentional about recognizing what's in it for me. Why do I do what I'm doing? How does this align with my big? Because when you do arrive at your destination, oh, they will come to celebrate the destination. People first stop, but why on the ground? Power yourself forward by being intentional in your day-to-day, like learning that, growing as you move forward. That for me is one of the things I think is very important. And so before we come away from there, and that you said that when you give a testimonial that a journey you had long avoided. And I think you may have spoken to it, but just checking again. Like, when you
Mm-hmm.
think about how being in the class, reading the book took you on a journey that you had long avoided. Can you
Yeah.
do that?
So what I meant when I said the journey had long, nobody wants to look at their failures or the things that didn't work out. I mean, I met a woman who told me while I was in law school, she told me that she had actually started multiple businesses. She started baking, cooking, different things, but they weren't working out. And, something she had to dash out. I'm like, nobody really wants to boast about their failures. Some people might have 5, 10, 15 failures, and then it's just that one thing that, succeeds. So I used to be that child that I would close my eyes because I just want that thing to disappear. I'll close my eyes and shake my head. I don't want it to burn out my still there. And I just never liked to look at all the things that never worked out. Whilst it would seem good, but that class literally made me understand that you need to look at these things, not just the failures, even the successes, the good things, but you need to look at everything as a whole. Then it will shape where I never knew perseverance was a thing for me, or enduring, keep just to keep going. I never knew it was a thing for me. And an interesting part was when we had to give to our family and friends, that slip where they had to comment on our strengths, weaknesses. My God, my good God. Like I said, applying yourself to the process. Just tell yourself, this master class, let me just do it. It's not anything, let me just take it. Let me just do it. And I sent to my brother, I sent to two of my friends, and I also asked my dad. And when I got the thing back and I was reading it, I was like, I never knew you guys saw me this way, right? But one thing that was very key and was consistent in everything they said was, Mosope will not give up.
Hmm.
It might look like Mosope has given up, but Mosope will not stop. I will keep on knocking and knocking till I break that door down. And that is the part I have chosen to hold on to, right? So yeah, so it just really made me look at those things I really want to look at, the failures. I don't even know if we have people here that have African parents, they'll probably enroll you in like two different lessons, add lessons teacher to it. This my child's not doing well. So please, for some other people, it's like, oh, is that the problem? For me, it was big problem. So just leave me like that.
No, it is because you said very simple. See, I say to people all the time that the
Mm,
most profound things in life are very simple. And sometimes and because of that, many people miss out on it. You've
mhm.
touched on very, very important here. One of them is that, first of how people see you sometimes and how you see yourself are sometimes different.
Different.
And so there's a lot of, and that's why I say that people that have capacities and they continue to undersell themselves because they have not come into the fullness of, literally,
Who
there's
do you,
somebody who's looking at you and appreciating the skill and you're underselling it because you're like, what is that?
was there?
Talked about this resilience. Other people have said Moshoke keeps knocking the door. And at the same time, you talked about the timid Moshoke. So despite on the outside you look
Side.
like timid, you had this driving force on the inside that always kept you going back. And
Moving.
being able to now take that and own that for where you want to go in future is important.
Yeah.
And so for me,
Yeah.
that is very profound because that means many things to different people. Some people need
Mm-hmm.
to stop today and go and ask themselves, like, where have I been at? What are the patterns I've seen emerge? And
Exactly.
how can that serve me to be the person that I
Person
want to be?
I want to be.
That are there that are saying I don't have anything, I don't own any,
There is something.
I don't have,
Ah.
but things are the strengths, the
Mhm,
resilience, those things that life has shaped you with are the things that
mhm.
other people have used to go on to become whatever that they are.
What?
So
Yeah.
very profound, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely profound. And I know
Yeah.
that we're really coming towards the, you know, end
Uh,
of this time, but we still have some time.
mhm.
But I was going to
Yeah.
ask you that, when you think and you started talking to it, it's like, okay, the journey ahead.
Mhm.
When you look at the past to unlock the future. And how would
Mm.
you say that, just other benefits that you like, the highlights of being intentional? What all else how are you seeing it all materialize? In the day,
Um.
as with everything else, it will be simple, but it will be profound because there'll be somebody who can relate. And that's
Yeah.
why we bring different perspectives to this calls so that other people can realize that there are humans like me, like, oh, resilience is a strength, really? I never really thought about that. Oh, my failures and the past life can a treasure for my future. Oh, I didn't have that perspective. Those are the things that we want to make sure that we keep it simple enough that people can digest it and run with it. Because again, those things that will go on to change your life are profound, but they're simple, but they're made by.
Simple. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that question. When we applied to join the masterclass, told us to do a list. What are the things that you hope that this you will get from this class? And one thing I said was I want to start setting realistic goals. I am an overthinker, but with the help of God, right? I have big dreams, but I under like now I understand that I need to start small. And that realistic goal I'm talking about is by choosing to say, okay, today this is my to-do list. I'm going to go to study, I'm going to go to work. I make a small list, something that I can accomplish, short time frame. I told myself this master class, 7 weeks, I must show up. Even if I don't show up every day, I must finish it, I must do it to the end. I started to set realistic goals, and that wasn't very typical of me. Like even in my prayer journal, I just write the very massive big things, which is good, but having to sit back and tell myself, okay, yes, I want to get there. I want to be this big person. But before I get there, these people that are there, they have habits that they build on every day. And I'm starting with today. Whatever tomorrow will look like, when I get to tomorrow, I'll sort it out. But today's one, I must accomplish it. So setting realistic goals was one thing I put on the other things I put, but that was one thing that stood out for me. That was literally something I took away from, the master class, and I have applied that over time, and I've seen that work for me. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
and that's very profound. So when you think about even the post that you've been doing on climate change, day one you showed up and you put the first post. Day two you put another one. Day three you did the other one. And then by the time it's 1 month in, you're going to look back and realize you have this big repository, and somebody's going to come and say, "Oh, this is so overwhelming. Like, how do I one day? How do I get to know this?" But you were just there consistently, intentionally showing up for yourself and for your goals. And so living life intentionally is just, again, being intentional, right?
Simple things.
That we try today, we fail, let's go back tomorrow, because we know where we're going, we know why we're doing what we're doing, because it's now something that's powering you from the inside. You're not because somebody asked you to do it, or you're looking for some endorsement.
Nobody can beat me. Nobody
can beat Mosopefoluwa. So and that's being intentional with life. Like, you begin on your own dream. First you get the clarity, and that's why we call those the class insights to impact. You first get clarity on what is important for me as a person. What do I call success? How do I be this person? And then on the days that it makes sense to other people or it doesn't make sense to other people, you wake up and show up for yourself,
because keep going
where you're going in life. And the funny thing about it is that there's a new confidence that comes. So there's I'm achieving my goals, but there are other benefits that come with it, because I'm like, yeah, I did that.
Yes.
On the back, I did this. I can move on. And then you hear somebody also even now well, you're not doing it for the compliments. Somebody compliments you, like, "Oh, Mosopefoluwa, you're so
yes."
And you're like, really? This is what that they're talking about.
It's like when I got the award. Okay, thank you.
So that's the beauty of showing up for yourself. One of the reasons I say you should take stock in the book is that there are other people whose destinies are tied to yours. Some people want to do doable, but when they see somebody else show up doing their grind, you're going to see colleagues like, just like how they reminded you about Mosopefoluwa in English. Now that you are
I don't want to. No. I don't think about it.
There'll be other people who are just there on the sidelines, and they're watching you grow, and they're amazed by the person that you're becoming. But some of them will never talk until you get to that final destination. Wow, it's been a joy to see you grow from this person into that person. And so beyond the direct benefits of achieving what you're looking to achieve, the confidence that comes with it, the fact that you're also being a data point for somebody else who is trying to go on a similar journey, the fact that you're impacting somebody's life in one way or another, like impact somebody's life is different because they encountered you. There's going to be that one person who's going to listen to this and hear you say, I used to be timid, and they're looking at the person on the screen. I'm like, no, this is not a timid person.
See, I would not do this. I would not do this.
And you'll be surprised. Somebody is going to reach out to you and ask you, start asking questions. And being candid with yourself. And that's the message I always give to people. And that's why we have these sessions. The goal of this session is not really as much as just read the book or be in the masterclass. It's the principles of being intentional with your life and how it serves you and serves those in your sphere, those that you are called to serve, because God is an intentional God. He's created
He
you
is.
on a path because he's leading you somewhere else. Like, if you don't deal with that challenge today, if you don't deal with that recognizing yourself, by the time you get to the next, you're going to be like, oh wow. Like, life is a journey. It's a continuous journey,
Yes.
full of life.
Yeah.
So being intentional and recognizing, where am I going to? Why is this important? Just kind of sets you up on that trajectory going forward. Yes,
Yeah.
Mosopefoluwa is highly resourceful and impactful. Benny the Trailblazer, thanks for that. Very, very
Em, thank
all right.
you.
As we kind of wrap up, what would you say to somebody like who's still on the fence, on just being intentional about life and taking? So I know you said it a lot, but just like you know, what would you say to people?
Um, I think what I would say, well, I don't think I know what I would say actually. I think
I know.
I would say that, to be honest, just do it. It sounds very cliche. It sounds overused, just do it. What's the worst that will happen? Oh, it did not make sense. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. But just do it. Because, like I was saying something about being an African child, we never really know how much of our lives is in our hands until we are then thrown into that reality that you have to survive somehow. I remember, talking to my dad and asking him, you didn't prepare me for this part of my life. You didn't tell me that being an adult was going to be like, and he's like, well, nobody told him to. You have to figure it out, right? And that's the beauty of it. Like I said, just do it. If it really doesn't make sense, you try again. But now at least you know that, oh, this path I followed it did not work out, so I'm not going to do it again. But if you don't show up, if you don't do it, you won't know, and you keep on assuming and assuming and assuming. And time is so funny that it just goes so fast. And by the time you check time, you realize that time has gone. But again, it's not too late. Just show up. Just do it. Like I said, if it doesn't work out, you try again tomorrow. You hold your head up high. Don't not allow anybody to intimidate you. Just show up. Just do it. Even when you don't feel like it, keep going. For me, the anchor word is I want to stand before kings. I want to dine with kings. But it is only a man who is diligent. And diligence, it comes with showing up. It comes with doing the uncomfortable things, the difficult things, the hard things. So, and I told myself, that's what I want. And if that's what I want, I have to keep showing up, even when it's not comfortable. Still keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Still keep showing up. It might not make sense, but still keep showing up. So that's all I would say. Keep showing up.
And that's the resilient Mosopefoluwa speaking there. And so for everyone out there, Mosopefoluwa has talked about, when she revisited certain things in her life, looked at where she's been at, talked to others who have seen her on the journey. Something that maybe she would have undersold in the past showed up consistently. Like, you are resilient. And she's owning that strength. She's owning the reality of where she wants to be at. She's not afraid to dream to be in front of kings, whatever that means for different people. And once she has to do that, you'll be surprised with yourself that you meet with. Like, you're going to look at yourself next time. I'm like, you mean I had this in me? Like, as in, there's no way to find out except you just get in front of, put one leg in front of the other, because life is going to scare you. Life is going to make you feel like, oh, you failed. Life is going to make you feel like, oh, you can't get things done. But you have said it. Said what's the worst that will happen if it doesn't work out. Then you've learned a lesson of, okay, I'm growing through the process, because life is filled with ups and downs all the way through. There will always be something that will challenge you, on the. But the more you see the patterns that have emerged from your life, the more you see how you are being shaped through the process. Because I always say that you are a message and you carry a message, and you need to the only way you're going to be able to deliver the message of your life is that you first stop, pause, think, reflect on who you are, where you've been at, the message that's being written, and how you are being qualified for the message you carry. There's so many people
Yeah.
that can benefit from your life. There's so many people that can benefit from the journey that you've been on. You've said very simple,
Yeah.
but it resonates with people in one way or another. It might not be
Yeah.
identical, but it's relatable. So
Yeah.
own your strength, own your journey, own your patterns. The world ahead, you'll be able to unlock it because now you recognize what you carry, who you are, and then you can shape yourself towards the place
Yeah.
you're looking to go to. And so, how can people connect with you? What are you up to these days? What can they learn following you? So that when they come back
Uh,
to you later, they know, yeah, yeah.
okay, I mean, I'm Mosope Akinrinmade everywhere, and I am Mosopefoluwa on LinkedIn. Yeah, Mosopefoluwa on LinkedIn, but Mosope Akinrinmade everywhere. Mosope underscore Akinrinmade on Instagram, Mosope Akinrinmade Facebook, then Mosopefoluwa Akinrinmade on LinkedIn. I'm currently sharing, I'm simplifying climate change terms at the moment, and gradually, if I don't post tomorrow, just send me a message. Bishop, you did not post today. Your climate change post did not come up today. You are part of our accountability partners. But yes, like I said, keep showing up. The days that it wouldn't or it doesn't work out, I'll still show up anyways. But yeah, but that's how you can connect with me. Please connect. I'm happy. I'm happy to welcome new friends, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Moshope. As in, it's just been very awesome, having you on. For those who probably
Thank
wonder,
you.
what are we talking about? We're talking about the book,
Yeah.
TikTok of who you've become on the journey to becoming. Where could you get your copy? It's available in Nigeria at Roving Height Bookstore, Lagos, Abuja, in the sellers in Ibadan, also at Bookville World, Port Harcourt. If you're in Port Harcourt, you can get yours there. And also, if you're like,
Mm,
a PDF is just fine. My e-copy is fine. You can get that on my website, www.fumilolaasa.com. And you can purchase the PDF copy, e-copy there. Um, just for me, I always say that the book is more than just selling the book. It's carrying the message. Like,
Cheers.
I read my copy from time
Cheers.
to time. It's like time, like Moshe Press. Like, words are very, very, I come back to encourage myself and I open certain things,
Yes.
the questions over. And so I look
Yeah.
forward to connecting with you. I look forward to hearing your insights from this. Ben Trailblazer, thank you for being active in this in the site. Thanks to my team, Emisi. Thank
Thank you.
you for sharing. For everyone who's come through, who will come through later. For those who are going to watch this, we're
Mhm.
glad you stopped by. And our key message to you is just do it, like Moshokwe says.
Just do it.
Intentional with recognize your purpose,
Yeah.
recognize why you're here. God is too large
Hmm.
to just have created you just to be there. There's a reason
Yeah.
you're here. Find it, own it, and walk with your full chest into the purpose
Yes.
God has given to you. What that's always
Thank you.
just
Thank you.
love to
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you for
Thank you.
with me today. And yes,
Yeah.
connected. Thanks everyone. Go take care
Bye.
of your world. The world awaits.
Yeah.